There is a movie that came out a little while ago called Turning Red. It's a Pixar movie, and I was not interested in watching Turning Red because every fucking thing that I have heard about this movie is some sort of fucking political culture war bullshit about, I don't know, feminism and like Asians or something. I don't know. And it's, there's a lot of people yelling about this movie on the internet for some reason. Evidently it's part of it is because it is a movie for 13-year-old girls about a 13-year-old girl in which there is like period related imagery or something. Which I guess is apparently indecent. Girls that are the age when they will all unanimously go through that, I guess, are not allowed to learn that that's a thing. I've spoken to now multiple women who, when they first had their period, thought they were fucking dying because nobody explained to them that that would happen. But, apparently this movie that, tries to maybe start a conversation about that is bad. I guess it's indecent, not godly or whatever. I think a character says stripper music, so you can't have the kids watching that. That's clearly not meant for them. Clearly, it's part of, I don't know, the agenda. I don't know. Ask that Timmick guy. I'm sure he knows. But yeah, I watched the movie the other night because Mr. Enter made a review about it, and it is a startlingly stupid video, which convinced me within a minute that I should probably watch this movie because holy shit. So the video is very bad. We're gonna see that, but firstly, who is Mr. Enter? Who is the mysterious Mr. Enter? This Mr. Enter, if that is his real name. Well, he's a cartoon reviewer guy who's been making videos for like a decade. And I guess people really don't like him. I don't know. It's like I said at the beginning of the stream, it mostly seems like very petty reasons. Like, at least it did. There's a lot of like, he's like kind of rude and he like spurgs out sometimes, and it's like, okay, fine, that's not really enough for a stream. But people are like fascinated by Mr. Enter. They either love him or hate him, I guess. And I mean, I watched, a couple, like back in like 2017 or something, I probably watched like a few of his videos about like the bad Family Guy episodes, like the one where Brian dies or whatever. Like I watched a couple of those in search of people making fun of bad cartoons or whatever, people making fun of bad things, of a favorite genre of internet content for me. So I watched some of his stuff, and it never seemed like it was so bad. But I had, I later learned that this guy is like fucking vilified. People hate this man. And I don't know, for the last little while, I was under the impression that he was like chilling out somewhat. He was like a little more, like, I don't know, people were warming up to him to some extent. Well, not anymore. Because in a startling turn of events, he makes a claim about the movie Turning Red, which is set in 2002. He is upset that this Disney family movie for children is not about 9/11. That is a major founding, like, building block for why he has a problem with this movie, it seems. So, I mean, let's get into it here. Oh, and I should say he is, like, he's been, like, I don't know, acting like a fucking weirdo on Twitter and stuff. Like, he made this stupid video, and everybody started calling him out and making fun of him because it's just the worst video. It's one of the worst reviews, I think, ever. It's literally, it's up there with the fucking cinematic Venom Lord of the Rings movie, or Lord of the Rings review that was like 2 hours long and just completely missed the point of Lord of the Rings. But yeah, he made this video and people started memeing on him. It's become a huge joke. People just like, well, you know, Super Mario Sunshine came out in 2002, but why doesn't it talk about terrorism at all? A terrorist takes over the Isle Delfino fucking like airstrip and nobody's talking about the similar or something. Like, you know, a lot of stuff like that, a lot of memes like that. Let's watch. This is a video called Turning Red is a Mixed Bag.
So I watched Turning Red,
and it's got a pretty good like ratio. I wonder if some of the guy seems to have fans. He's got like he's got people that like him, I guess. I mean, most of his videos are just the most bland. Like, there's not really anything to even say about him. It's like, this cartoon is bad, and that's the video, you know. I don't know. There's like a little bit more to him usually than that, but I don't know why people would watch the guy or like defend him really, but yeah, he has risen to notoriety once more with this video. Let's watch.
So I watched Turning Red recently, the latest Pixar film. What took me so long to see this one? Well, I was actually avoiding it for a couple of reasons. Most notably, the trailer. Like, I think that even people who like this movie will agree that the trailer is really, really bad. Personally, it showed me that everything I didn't like...
I didn't hate the I didn't see the trailer of this movie, but I was told that the first 5 minutes of the movie were really abrasive and annoying, and I didn't really find that. I thought that it was fine. I don't know.
In a movie would be in this one, with a super in-your-face attitude. And it didn't really make any arguments of how a transformation into a red panda could actually carry a movie. It seemed like an incredibly light, simple premise. And the other reason that I didn't
make any arguments. I mean, I don't know. I think toys living is a pretty simple premise, but they managed to do a lot with that. You know, cars living is a pretty simple premise, but they did a fair bit with that. I don't know about the premise. What? Didn't make any arguments about... Okay.
To watch Turning Red at first was because if I did, I knew I'd have to talk about it. And if I knew I had anything other than super glowing praise for it, we were going to have another Turtles situation. So I watched the film, and I have something other than super glowing praise for it. And now I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah, but you can't just say, like, well, I knew that people would be upset because I didn't love the movie. It's like, no, you didn't love the movie for the fucking stupidest reasons that we are about to get into here. Virtually every one of this man's criticisms of this movie are just wrong. I mean, as someone in the pre-stream chat said, Mr. Enter is proof that an opinion can be wrong. Yeah, I mean, if you don't like it, I'm sure there's reasons not to like it, but most of the reasons he gives here are bad. They're just bad.
The chaos and the drama this movie has caused, it's really tempting to just go one way or the other. Praise it for being shocking and daring and tackling new ground. Or to go in the other direction and absolutely eviscerate the film. It's really cementing itself with the Ghostbusters effect. It's not a movie, it's a political argument. Like Thundercats Roar, High Guardian Spice, or...
Except the difference is, like the Ghostbusters movie was bad. You know, this is just... I cannot stress enough when I watched this movie. It was like a half an hour into it or something. I was just like, this is the movie everybody's like mad about? It was just such a pleasant little like carefree family movie, and for some reason the only thing I've heard about it is that it's indecent and children shouldn't see it, and it's more like SJW, Disney, whatever. And I mean, I've said before, I can acknowledge this movie was probably only made by Disney because it is an Asian woman-focused movie, and Disney really wants to push, you know, some demographics or whatever. But that doesn't mean the movie itself is bad. And yeah, I don't know. I was just watching it and I was like, imagine being mad about this. It's literally like being mad about, like, Arthur or something. Like, it's the fucking simplest, most... God, talk about the cynicism of being a fucking grown-up. It's just this pleasant, nice kids movie. And people are, like, turning it into this fucking culture war bullshit. I just can't... There was just a part in the movie where I was watching it and it was like, oh my god, people... What, really? This? Like, yeah, again, Ghostbusters, that was one where it's like, okay, all of the marketing of this movie is, you are a bad person and you hate women if you don't like this movie. And the movie was bad, you know? Like, they even changed things in the movie to fit into that weird narrative, because the movie itself was so bad that they couldn't, like, actually make it stand out on its own or sell or have any kind of buzz outside of, like, weird hostility. To quote Jay Bowman, the most politically divisive movie of the summer is a fucking Ghostbusters film. Because I guess that's where we're at. And that's how I felt with this. It was just like this pleasant, I keep saying it, just pleasant little carefree kids movie. And it's like, oh my god, we're really fighting about this. Oh my, okay, all right. But yeah, this guy doesn't shy away from any of that, I guess. So let's go back a tiny bit.
It's not a movie, it's a political argument. Like Thundercats Roar, High Guardian Spice, or Masters of the Universe Revelation before it. Or She-Ra, or I can keep going on. These arguments are largely annoying, and they shouldn't be engaged in on any side of the argument, whether you're a defender or a detractor. If you're a detractor, it elevates the status of the movie and gives it more importance than it really deserves. If you're a defender, you obscure the actual merits of the movie and turn it into a target, which actually does hurt the artists in the long run, and hurts the actual political headway of whatever movement you're arguing for even more.
What political movement? Oh my god, the political movement is there's Asians in it. What the fuck? It's not about politics, you fucking weirdos! It's a family movie! Oh my god! Listen, I understand to some extent, like, yeah, every new 3D Disney movie is just some new ethnicity of child and whatever legend from their country or something. You know, it used to be about cars and bugs and monsters, and now it's just like, what about a black people movie? What about a Mexican people movie? I understand. There's some argument to be made about, like, you know, Disney's clearly, it's very obvious that Disney wants to push messages and things. You know, like I went to see Shang-Chi back when it was in the theaters, and, you know, I was happy to see it. It was the first, you know, movie I'd seen in theaters in a while, and I was there, I was all excited to watch it, and then there was this big, stupid fucking premiere thing before it that was, like, people wearing, like, Asians rule t-shirts, and just, like, it's so great that Asian people can finally be in cinema, like, this, just the most fucking cringe bullshit, just the most Disney patting themselves on the back. Don't worry about all those internment camps and concentration camps that we support that are being run in China. Don't worry about the ethnic cleansing that Disney is in favor of and thanked in their Mulan credits. Yeah, Asians, bro! Woo! Like, I understand. There's some level of that. But if you remove all of that from this movie and you just analyze the movie, it's a very nice movie. It's just a movie about people. It's not... There's no part in the movie where it's like talking down to white men or any of that kind of bullshit. It's just a movie about an Asian family, you know? It really isn't that complicated. It really isn't some kind of political statement. But I guess there just are people that are literally just like, well, this movie is about Asians. I hate politics! I guess.
Oh, that's not even mentioning that you're playing pawns to billion-dollar corporations that have packaged your personal values and have sold them back to you. Turning Red is a mixed bag. Actually, I don't even know if that's the best way to describe it. It is the Pixar film that I am the most mixed on. There are Pixar films that I absolutely love, like Soul, WALL-E, or Ratatouille. There are Pixar films I don't like Cars 2. And then there are Pixar films I don't care about, like A Bug's Life or the first Cars.
Why would you not care about A Bug's Life? That's like one of the best ones.
Turning Red is a film I'd probably like if it wasn't for some glaring problems that took me right out of the experience time and again. So Turning Red stars an Asian Canadian girl.
Now I know this isn't what he said, but I just love the transition of
A Bug's Life or the first Cars. Turning Red is a film I'd probably like if it wasn't for some glaring problems that took me right out of the experience time and again. So Turning Red stars an Asian Canadian...
I would love this movie if it weren't for some glaring flaws. Number one, Asians! I know that's not technically what he said, but I just love that transition. That is wonderful. That is, you couldn't have, I don't know if he test watched that one, because that's very good. I love that.
Glaring problems that took me right out of the experience time and again. So Turning Red stars an Asian Canadian girl named Miley, growing up in Toronto in 2000.
That is not her name. They say her name 100 times in the movie, and this is the first thread of starting to wonder if this guy actually even watched the movie. They say her name all the time in the movie. It's what is it? Mei Ling or whatever the fuck. Now I forget, but you know, it's Mei something. It's not Miley. So I don't know. That's another thing where it starts to raise the question of if he even watched this.
Where one night, she learns that she becomes a giant red panda whenever she feels any particularly strong emotions. This is complicated by the fact that she has an overbearing mother, is going through middle school, and puberty. It's a fairly simple...
Yes, the mom is hot. We can all agree the mom is hot, yes.
...simple movie despite all the drama, and yet there's a ton to talk about. I'm going to start with what held me back from actually enjoying the movie, and that is Mei's mother, Ming. I'm going to be dead straight with you. I hated this character so much that I thought I would have to stop watching the movie. Ming is a helicopter parent, the type who controls every little thing about their child's life and are super panicked that a slight deviation from their plan will harm their child. So they create this self-fulfilling prophecy, where they hurt their child so much more than the rest of the world could. Every time that Ming was on screen, I was angry. The two most infamous bits you've probably heard of, when she finds drawings of Mei's crush and drives her down to the store to show the boy in them what Mei did. And the other time is when she came down to school unprompted to try and give Mei menstrual pads without any self-awareness that she was doing it in front of her whole...
Which I've been told has happened to people. Again, it's like, yes, that's the point. And also, it's not really that unrealistic, because I in the small group of like 6 people or whatever that I watched this movie with, I had someone say, I think it was a friend saying that his girlfriend was like, yeah, my mom did this exact thing. And just came to my school with, like, pads, like... So that's a thing that happens, I guess. Parents don't always know that they're being helicopter parents. That's, you know, it's kind of the fucking point. I don't know.
Class. There's also a third moment that really struck me, and that's when Mei goes to Tyler's party, and Ming was so blind to any possible reasons that Mei might rebel, especially after the first 2 incidents, that she basically stops Mei from seeing her friends. Every time Ming was on screen...
Because she's the mother of the kid, and she assumes the kid can do nothing wrong because she loves the kid, and she's raised the kid in a certain way, and she... There's reasons for all of this. This is the point of the movie. I don't know. It's like watching a superhero film and going, well, I didn't like that there was a bad guy. He was mean. Okay, fine.
This was some of the most uncomfortable a Disney Pixar film has ever made me feel. And need I remind you that this is a film about puberty, in which the problem is solved with twerking. So, defenders will rush...
This is slightly weird, I will give you that. The fact that, the fact that there is such a fucking dumpy on that red panda is, that's the one thing where I'll say, okay, it's a little strange. It's a little strange, but that's like it, really. It's like the one thing that's kind of weird about the movie. I don't know.
And say that this behavior is accurate, especially in Asian communities. And there's a kernel of truth to the kernel of truth here. Asian communities are definitely at least stereotypically strict in upbringing. Is it realistic to take a child's drawing of a crush, drag her down to a convenience store, and confront the person in said drawing in a store full of people?
I've heard of stupider things that parents did because they thought they were fucking benefiting their kid. Yeah, I don't know. That's not that far-fetched. Overprotective pet's a thing. I mean, again, it really just seems like this guy is mad at the concept of overprotective parents. You know, which is kind of what the movie's about. Those not being necessarily so good. And he's just like really upset about that. I mean, I agree. Sometimes it's like, okay, this person's being, this character in this thing is being a little too much the way that the thing is trying to portray them as, or whatever, that kind of like unrealistic behavior to sort of elevate the plot. But I mean, I don't know. I like the fact that this guy's like, I hated the mom. She was terrible. It's like, I don't know. I like the fact that the mom was just, a nice lady who had her reasons for being the way that she is. And, they go through that and they explain like, her mom was even stricter than she is. And so that instilled all this stuff. And her mom also has this like, that still has this like iron grip of like, you will raise your daughter this way. And so that's all in this movie. And I like the fact that there was basically a Disney movie with a villain who was just, loved the hero, but maybe didn't love them in the right way. Like maybe they were a little overprotective, whatever. Like they didn't need to... It wasn't like Jafar or some shit. It wasn't like an evil supervillain. It was literally just a mom who's like a little overprotective because she loves her kid. I don't know. That's interesting. That's a little bit more nuanced than most Disney movies, I would say.
Especially if you were under the delusion that these things actually happened, despite one of the drawings being the boy as a merman. Is it really realistic to try and directly give menstrual pads to someone and not leave them with a nurse at school? Ming's behavior is
apparently that happens!
Actually, no, it's not. That's actually the problem. The problem is that it's realistic. It's something that could feasibly happen if you were one of the worst, most brain-dead people on Earth. It's not like, say, Doofenshmirtz, who also had a hard upbringing. So hard that neither of his parents showed up for his actual birth. If you want to talk about realism, we need to talk about in context.
We're talking about how Doofenshmirtz. Listen, I don't know the fucking cartoon. What is it, Phineas and Ferb or whatever? But you can't be talking about like realistic character motivations and just be like, yeah, it reminds me of Doofenshmirtz and like the very character's name. I'm not able to take that seriously. I'm sorry. That is a joke to me.
So, this was a Disney film also about generational trauma, which seems to be the theme of the season. Mirabel's grandmother was guilty of pretty much the same things, being overly controlling, trying to keep her family in the perfect boxes that she imagined for them. Of course,
to be fair, I had no interest in this movie. I guess I also had no interest in Turning Red, but then I watched it and I liked it. Yeah, this movie, I'm good. I don't know.
So, didn't make me want to smash my computer because it was subtle. You could constantly understand the reasons that Alma was doing the things that she was doing, even if you didn't agree with them. And in the end, you want to see Alma get better, not have her taken away in the back of a police car. This is like trying to redeem Doofenshmirtz's parents.
He wants the mom to be taken away in a police car because she's like a bit cringe. Like, this isn't a situation of like the mom is beating her child or forcing her to work at the store or something. Like, this is literally just the mom is overprotective because she loves the kid. Why do you want her taken away by the police? What?
And doing it in a realistic way, and have it all heartfelt at the end. This is not a combination that works. Ming doesn't come across as understandably or realistically strict at any point in the movie. She comes across as psychotic. Luckily for the film, anytime that Ming isn't on screen, the movie gets a lot better. I wouldn't call it one of Pixar's best, still, but it would have been a tier above something like Onward, which felt a lot like wasted potential. Part of the Ming problem actually comes from the movie's style. It is a very much in-your-face, and takes a lot of cues from anime, with even mundane things being shot as over-the-top as possible, which is a baffling choice if you're making something that's supposed to tell some kind of down-to-earth lesson. This movie really feels like it was made for the TikTok generation. I mean, it was, obviously.
I mean, it's a stylistic choice. I don't know. It worked the way that... I think everybody agrees that it worked, except for this guy. I don't know. I guess, you know, it seems like he just, on like a personal level, had some issue with it. I don't know. Like, okay, you don't like the style. So you don't like it, alright. You can't really give me a good actual reason why. Like, because there isn't a reason, you just personally don't like it. I mean, I'll admit, before I actually saw the movie, I was like, oh, it looks like fucking Thundercats Roar, but in, like, 3D. You know, it's got the fucking mouths. Like, I get it, but then it looks better in motion, and, I don't know, there's a lot of good shots in the movie. By the way, he's not going to mention the good direction in this movie at all. He's not going to mention any of that, anything good about it, really. He calls it a mixed bag, but it's like 95% of this video is him shitting on this movie. He has like some very lukewarm praise. The movie is better when the mom isn't on screen, but he doesn't say like, oh, you know, the voice acting was really good, you know, the music was cool here. He doesn't have any of that to say. It's like all negatives, but he couches it a little in like, but yeah, I didn't hate it. Like, spend 4 hours shitting on the movie, but I didn't hate it. And it's like, oh, okay, well, you didn't hate it, so, you know, it's a positive review. Yeah, it's fine. It's fair and balanced. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of it is, like, personal, just he doesn't like the art style, I guess. I will say this movie is probably the best 3D anime movie that there is. I mean, you know, not counting like CG anime stuff. You know, I'm sure there's stuff there that looks good. Not the Berserk CG anime. That looks like shit. That looks like shit. But, you know, talking about, like, what is it, the Earwig Witch or whatever, the fucking Ghibli movie that was in 3D, or, like, the Dragon Quest movies or whatever, all of the, like, attempts at being, like, a 3D anime, I would say this is better than any of those. So, I mean, in terms of just art style, I mean, okay, maybe you don't like the art style, I guess, but presenting this like it's a negative of the movie that you don't personally like the art style is a little bit weird.
Obviously, it was released in 2022, but the movie also takes place in 2002, and that creates many problems with the film.
Good stuff.
Like, I hear some of the slang in this film, like the word besties, and while that term did apparently exist way back when, you would not be hearing that in a middle school.
I would never have heard that in a middle school because I had no best friends.
The movie also overestimates how common cell phone use was among middle schoolers at the time. It wasn't until the mid to late 2000s
I guess,
when cell phones became a common...
Also, like, who cares? I mean... You know, I don't know.
In middle schools. Like, unless the family was rich, even the adults at the time would be using beepers. The anime style also feels off due to the time period. While anime did exist in the West, obviously, besides Sailor Moon or Dragon Ball, Pokemon, or Yu-Gi-Oh!, it was pretty niche until, like, 2005. Then we started getting...
That's a very stupid statement to make. I know that this movie in particular, what was it? It was like Ranma 1/2 or whatever that was... particularly like inspirational for the lady who made it. I don't know. This is a very weird point to me, where he's like, well, the movie's anime style, but it's set in 2002, and anime wasn't popular in 2002, which, I mean, for one thing, is just wrong. The person who made it was a fan of anime at the time, and that's why they made it look like this. But even if that was right, I mean, even if that was right, like, okay, anime didn't exist in the fucking 40s, but we've got, like, World War II, like, anime. Anime doesn't exist in, like, samurai times, but we've got samurai anime. What? Okay.
Tricklings of things like Zatch Bell, One Piece, and so on. I mean, anime definitely was there, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the styling of the time. Speaking of which, by 2002, boy bands were on the way out. That is literally the year that Justin Timberlake went solo, effectively ending the craze for a decade. 2002 wasn't a very in-your-face time either. It was quiet. It was grungy. Linkin Park...
No, it was. Are you fucking kidding me? Have you ever seen an advertisement from 2002? Have you ever seen any single one of the fucking advertisements on TV in 2002 where it was just like extreme attitude and noises and splurts and weird disgust, gross out comedy shit? Like that was a thing by that era. Less so maybe than the 90s, but what the fuck? You're just wrong. I mean, you're just wrong.
It was one of the biggest bands in the world. Everyone was emotional and full of angst. Like, there's one guy in the school who has this emo look, and yeah, that is 2002, right there. The whole movie should look like that. And that's partially because...
Emo look in 2002? The whole movie should...
Who has this emo look...
I mean, emo wasn't like a thing until like 2006 or something. Really, not popularly anyway. Now I'm making the same. Well, anime wasn't popular. Emo wasn't popular. It wasn't really like the style of 2002. If you really want to be like that, you could say like, why don't more kids have like frosted tips and like a jeans chain? Like, I guess you could say that, but also the movie is focusing on, you know, mainly for girls who, I don't know, pretty much look like people from the time period. I don't know, you know, it's set in 2002, but maybe there's something to be said for, like, it has a bit of a timeless quality to it. You know, like, technically it's set in 2002, yes, but, you know, it also has a couple of other things because it fits the movie. It's like the game Ghost of Tsushima or any of the Assassin's Creeds. Yes, technically there weren't any flying machines in like Leonardo da Vinci times, but Ezio sure did fly one in AC2, and it sure was pretty cool. And if somebody comes up and they're like, but that's not accurate, I will kill them. I will just kill them. Yeah, sometimes you make some sacrifices in terms of like accuracy or authenticity in the name of, you know, making the thing like work a little better. I don't know. That's like a common thing.
And yeah, that is 2002 right there. The whole movie should look like that. And that's partially because there's an elephant in the room that you do have to realize if you want to say, golly geez, let's set this film in 2002 for no reason.
So we're about to get to it. I'm sure some of you have seen some memes about this. Maybe you don't know where they come from. But, it's about to happen. Remember, everybody, Sonic Heroes fucking sucks, because they didn't discuss the events. Okay? Alright? Like, that game came out, what, like a year, maybe 2 years after what happened in 2001? And they didn't talk about it at all. I don't know, man. It's pretty cringe. It's pretty cringe.
This film takes place less than a year after the September 11th terrorist attacks. I bring this up because it radically altered the culture of the time, in ways that make this movie feel exceptionally ignorant of the time.
Yeah, there was Muslim people right there. Did you see that? Obviously, they would be busy bombing us. jokes and satire. Also, I do like this man right here. This is how I feel right now. This little just man flying out of his fucking seat.
Even though literally the only reason I can comprehend that this movie is set explicitly in 2002 is because the director grew up in that exact year. Yes, this film takes place in Canada, not the United States, but all over the Western world. Canada, America, the UK, much of Europe. People were paranoid because 9/11 wasn't the only terror attack that had happened.
You know, it's at this point in the video where I would just like to, you know, a bit of a refrain, I guess. You know, I was saying before, like, I can't believe, you know, this pleasant children's movie, people are, like, upset about this because of politics or whatever. And by the same token, when I saw this, I was like, is this man okay? Like legitimately, like not even as a joke. Is Mr. Enter all right? Is he going through like a depressive period? Is everything okay, big guy? Because I just cannot fucking fathom somebody looking at this just nice, colorful kids movie and just being like, and 9/11 wasn't the only terror attack that happened that day. Like, are you okay? Did somebody break up with you? What the fuck is this? Are you down bad, dude? Because what is this? I like, legitimately, it's like, I don't know, it's like playing like a fucking Nintendo, like an NES game, and you're just like, well, why didn't this discuss the fucking financial crisis? Why didn't this discuss the recession of the late 90s? What? Why would it? I mean, the funny thing, too, is that I thought that the point, when I first saw this, I guess I'll spoil it a little, I thought the point that he was making was specifically the ending segment, which I guess spoilers. May's mom also had it's like a hereditary thing with all the girls in the family, and May's mom, she has like the biggest red panda of them all. And so she like fucking freaks out because her daughter rebels, and she starts terrorizing the town, and there's just like these shots of like her looming like a big kaiju in the city. And I thought initially, like, okay, it's 2002, city destruction, maybe that's the point that he's making. That's not the point that he's making. That is not at all the point that he's making. The point that he's making is literally just, this is set near when 9/11 happened. Why doesn't it discuss 9/11? And I just, like, again, just legit, like, is he okay? Just the fucking, like, watching Mickey Mouse cartoons from the 40s and just being like, and why did this discuss the atrocities in Germany? Like, I don't know, man. Why do you assume that it would? You know? It does. I don't. Wow. Is that, like, is it a joke? Like, is this a joke? This is the stream of quotes. I've quoted someone like 3 times, but to quote a great man, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke or something? Because you're a little late on that. My God, what a terrible fucking video.
It was the major theme of the decade.
Holy shit.
I can understand not wanting everyone to be so fearful, as that goes against the tone that the movie is trying to establish.
Yeah.
But then you'll have very awkward moments if you actually were there and you do actually remember the time period. Like, the moment with Ming, this strange adult standing outside of the school with a box. An adult that no one wants to account for, completely trying to obscure her appearance and getting attention of the kids.
Yeah, the obvious, like, Karen mother is the terrorist. Yeah, okay. Again, you could have made the argument of the pandas terrorizing the city or whatever. Like, she fucking wrecks the Sky Dome. You could have maybe made the argument of, like, it's a little weird to have a movie set right near 9/11 that has, like, massive scale city destruction as a theme. But that's not even the point. The point is, why didn't the school arrest this, like, lady? What the fuck? Are you okay? Like, she's probably been there before. The people at the school probably know that that's what's-her-name's mom. She's probably, like, a fucking on the PTA or some shit. No, they wouldn't have fucking arrested her for terrorism, you strange, strange man! What the fuck?
In the school. In Real World 2002, she wouldn't just be confronted by the school security guard. She would be tackled by the police and hauled in. Like, here's the thing. If they picked 1999 or 2000, or literally any year that was not 2002, this movie's setting would make a lot more sense.
Can you fucking imagine if this movie, like, okay, this is 2002, so this wouldn't have happened, but I am just picturing, like, what this guy, I guess, wants. There's the scene, he showed it a little bit here, where they're, like, on the roof, and we were watching this, and there's a shot
the movie is trying to establish. But
yeah, it might go against the tone. It might go against the pleasant kids movie tone to talk about 9/11 in your fucking kids movie. Yes, it might. It just a little bit. But yeah, there was this scene here where they're against the skyline and they're on the roof, and you know, we were watching this movie because this review was like making fucking waves. And I think in unison, we were all like, and there comes the planes, like they're gonna crash into the CN Tower. Like, we had that kind of, and I guess that's kind of what he wants, or something like that, where it's just like a happy, fun kids movie, and then there's just randomly a scene of 9/11, I guess? And he talks about this, and it's like, I would like to just share, maybe you weren't here, on September, I think it was September 12th that I did the stream, where I talked about this, but a few months ago, when, you know, around September 11th, I was lying in bed trying to get to sleep, and I was reading some Marvel comics. I was reading through the, like, 1999 Spider-Man series, where they, like, rebooted it, and it was the part where J.M. Straczynski was writing it, and it was, like, around issue 30 or something, and I had read a few issues, and then I got to, September of 2001, and there was, like, a special issue that was, like, discussing what happened, and it was, I've shown this on stream, so if you've seen this before, but it was just the most cringe fucking thing. I think this is the new one. Yeah, this is like, yeah, they made like an anniversary comic where it's like Spider-Man and fucking Captain America feeling sad about 9/11. But like, you had stuff like this. Like, fucking Magneto and Doctor Doom and Dr. Octopus and the Kingpin standing here in the rubble, and like fucking Doctor Doom sheds a single tear. You know, you had this where, you know, a bunch of people were dead, and you know, how are we going to honor those dead people? Why don't we have Mr. Fantastic and the fucking Thing lifting the rubble at Ground Zero? I guess this is what he wanted? I don't know. This, like, just really strange, out of place. Would that have helped this movie? Really? I just don't understand. I feel like that would have literally, like, it only could have made the movie worse. it would have just been a very strange moment in the movie. Like, he doesn't even want it. Like, I was joking that they would, like, witness it in the movie, and it would just, like, suddenly the movie's sad now, and it's about the aftermath of 9/11. Fuck the red panda, that's not relevant anymore. Now we're talking about terrorism. Like, I guess that's not what he wanted. What he wanted was, I guess, for this movie that's just a personal story about, like, you know, being yourself or whatever, maturing and all that sort of thing. He wanted it to just randomly have themes of, like, terrorism. Because he wanted, this is if it's set in 2002. The idea is not that it's going to happen in the movie. The idea is we are living in a post 9/11 world in the movie. And so obviously we should have fucking, like, what would that even be? Would it just be like May walking down the street and she looks in a window and there's a TV and there's like CNN talking heads and there's like World Trade Center footage and like George Bush shows up on the screen and she just goes like, and there's like a voiceover that's like, the world is a bad place now. Like, what would that have added to this story? Holy fuck. Unbelievable that is like a thing that he actually said. And again, remember, he started this video with that, you know, oh, well, you know, I didn't want to make this video because if I didn't have absolute glowing praise of this movie, everybody's gonna get mad at me. And that's probably how he thinks that this is being received, is like, oh, I had some complaints about the movie, and so everybody is mad at me. No, it's that you made the stupidest point I've ever seen to explain why you don't like it. Unfathomably dumb. Just high concept stupidity. You couldn't make this shit up. You couldn't make this shit up. You really just, wow. Oh, mental. I'm sorry. Let's get back to the video.
Then you have very awkward moments if you actually were there and you do actually remember the time period. Like the moment with Ming, this strange adult standing outside of the school with a box. An adult that no one wants to account for, completely trying to obscure her appearance and getting attention of the kids in the school. In real world 2002, she wouldn't just be confronted by the school security guard. She would be tackled by the police and hauled in. Like, here's the thing. If they picked 1999 or 2000 or literally any year that was not 2002, this movie's setting would make a lot more sense. 1999, I could buy the in-your-face attitude, the boy band stuff. That was an optimistic year, despite everything else going on at the time. And
Man legitimately just hates this movie because it's set in a year that he finds disagreeable.
On top of that, the movie doesn't get anything at all by setting itself in 2002. The boy band Four Town could have been replaced with any other musical act. The lack of cell phones and surveillance technology doesn't matter because May was caught on the news, and being hidden really isn't a goal in this film. I mean, I wouldn't set it in 2022, obviously, but taking place in just a vague, unspecified time like any other Disney Pixar film would have done this one so much favor. Take away Ming, and you take away the setting, and what's left...
Just pretend that it's not in 2000... Pretend it's 2003! Does that make it better for you? What? Who cares? Holy shit!
With the film. You have a nice little story about a girl having something supernatural happening to her and going through it with her friends. And that is a nice part of the film. It's amazing, really. What the trailers made look like...
I mean, there's some idiot in chat who's like, you're missing the point so you could keep talking about it. No, I'm missing the point because I'm missing the point, clearly. I don't know what the point is. I'm sorry, you got me. I don't understand what the point is of this man complaining that this movie for children doesn't talk about 9/11. No, you're right. I've clearly just completely missed the point. Because you know what? Usually when a point is crazy, you fucking miss it, you know?
Was going to be the worst part of the film was actually in the end probably its saving grace. May and her friends have very good chemistry. I just wish the film could be only about...
Yeah, it's based on the writer's life. It's so bizarre that this is literally just this man going, you decided to set this movie in a year that meant a lot to you personally, probably, and that's a problem for me. Like, maybe stuff like this happened for this girl, like this woman, when she was this age in 2002. Does it need to be more complex than that? I don't know.
It took more cues from something like Stand By Me. Because every time that it's not about that, the film struggles. And
oh, I'm sorry. No, the point that he's making, according to Faded Bones in chat, the point that he's making here is that adults shouldn't be allowed to just walk on campus. It's a school. It's a kid. It's a mother at the school. Are you okay? What? In 2022, I guess, yeah, maybe that's weird. But in 2002, I don't know, that was fine. It's like, I think I broke. I think this one did it. I think this one broke me. Holy shit, I can't even formulate a sentence. That's between this stupid fucking video and this yokel in chat that's like, well, no, the point is... And then he goes on to explain the point, and it makes less sense. Wow.
It struggles hard. Like, there's also May's father, Jin. He says, like, 2 words throughout the entire film, and then towards the end he decides that he wants to be an actual character.
Yeah, it's almost like the movie is, like, talking about, like, women's issues, and the guy is, like, uncomfortable about that because, you know, that's the... I don't know how true that usually is. I'm sure, you know, for the most part, a dad would be like, let the mom deal with, you know, the girl stuff. But I really liked the scene with the dad where he goes from just being like a background character to being like, you know, just because he's not there at every moment and he's not actively like the most important person in her life in her development. He's still like a caring person that is there for her, and he is what he needs to be in that moment. Just a different version, just an alternative take on the situation. Being like, I don't know, your mom's kind of like the way she is, but I thought your fucking thing was cool. Like, I don't know, that was nice. That was a nice scene. I can't imagine watching this scene and being upset. Holy shit!
Out of nowhere. The film is clunky. That's the best way to describe it. Which side of okay it's on depends on my mood, but it is vastly below Pixar's average. Or, well, it would have been 15 years ago. Oh yeah, there's also the puberty thing. It is really underplayed and the controversy is blown mega out of proportion. Beyond the
Take that, weird helicopter mom's upset about this movie that depicts a weird helicopter mom as the bad guy. Even this guy who thinks that this movie should have been about 9/11, and had like a dramatic scene where the mom gets detained by fucking like Homeland Security for showing up to her child's school. Even he agrees that the people that are like upset that this movie has periods stuff, it doesn't even really. I mean, it's like you can view the red panda as like a metaphor or whatever, but I mean, it's not even really about that. I would say if anything, it just kind of brings up that as maybe a discussion that you could have with your child who might, you know, wind up going through that. I don't know, I think it's a nice movie also for boys to watch. I mean, it's obviously it's a movie that's about girls, but I think that it's a good thing for boys to see, like, they're girls aren't like weird aliens, they're just people that have problems like we do. I never thought about it that way, because it's like a weirdly rare thing apparently to talk about this kind of thing.
Metaphor of May turning into a red panda, you're not going to get much besides menstrual pads. Like, you could watch this film and think that the only symptom of going through puberty for May...
Yeah, I echo the man in chat who says that this video is just plain wrong. It works better with the plain emoji, but...
is turning into a giant red panda. And this is something that I'm getting really tired of happening, by the way. I don't know whether to call it shock advertisement or an offshoot of rainbow capitalism, where Disney and its stands say that everyone has to go see X, Y, and Z film and...
No more periods after 9/11, god damn it. 9/11 was bloody enough! How could this video talk about bloody things? God damn it!
Absolutely love it because it's so daring, so brave. You know, like how they add in a literal gay wink and a nudge, so they can claim that they have the first LGBT character in their film for the 20th time, in such a small role that they can remove it for international...
I mean, yeah, okay, Disney's terrible. You're right. I think everybody's on the same wavelength with that. I don't think anybody is, like, legitimately still a fan of, like, Disney as a business. You know, they might, you know, you got your Disney adults. You know, maybe they like Cinderella or whatever, but they're not really still fond of Disney's, like, weird fucking, you know, corporate diversity bullshit. Sure. Yeah. They pander to demographics in the West and then pander to the China demographic by cutting all of that progressive shit out. Yes, that is true. Disney sucks. With ya. But again, if you just look at the movie as a movie and try to forget all of the, you know, context of what company made it or whatever, it's a fine movie. I don't know. Again, I mean, I can agree on this part. Yeah, Disney fucking blows. All of their bullshit, all of their, like... Guys, this is the first time Asians have ever been in a movie. Isn't that so great? Like, yeah, I know, Disney's stupid. I agree. But why does that have to ruin this specific movie? Don't even, like... You know, I'm sure Disney was pretty evil when I was a kid, too. I'm sure Disney was doing terrible things when I was 5 and I just really liked Toy Story. But I didn't care. I just watched Toy Story. And I've never seen anybody complain about the state of Disney when Toy Story came out or anything like that. It's like, you just take it for what the movie is. You don't take it for, like, a corporate business product in the political culture war of the West, of crazy, angry, horn-honking truckers versus crazy, angry Twitch communists or whatever. You know, just watch a fucking movie. I don't know. Get laid. Settle the fuck down.
Audiences. You want animation that's daring? Watch Braceface. No, I'm not kidding. That show actually had a period episode with things like menstrual cramps mentioned, which aired in 2001. That was more than 20 years ago. And if you're not keeping score,
This man is comparing... This man is comparing this movie to a single episode of a cartoon from 2001. A show which, by the way, apparently had an episode all about breast inflation on the little girl main character. It's a real episode. It's called Busted, apparently. Yeah. Go watch Braceface, everyone. I'm sure Mr. Enter is very familiar with that.
Happened before this movie even took place. Cartoons were more daring and diverse back then than you probably give them credit for, and definitely more than the industry does today. Not so much with films, but actual on-television animation, yes. It was probably more diverse back then than it is now, even. You want to talk Asian characters animation? American Dragon Jake Long, Life and Time of Juniper Lee, Jackie Chan Adventures, Yume from Code Lyoko, Hi Puffy Yumi, and that is also ignoring
Yes, Asians existed before this movie. Again, what's your point?
shows that try to showcase many or all ethnicities, like Class of 3000 or Hey Arnold. I'm not going to give easy credit for things that have already been done and done better 20 years ago.
I'm not talking about... Kyle, you're an idiot. Play your record. I'm not talking about... Like... Yes, if you are praising this movie because it has Asians in it and women, then you're probably a lost cause of a person, and you should probably, you know, consider your options. I don't know. I hear Dr. Kevorkian is lovely this time of year, but yeah, if you're one of those people that literally just claps because the company said the thing was diverse, then you're fucking stupid. You're just a moron. But the movie doesn't even do that. Like, again, if you just watch the movie, there's no part in the movie where it wags its finger at the whites. There's no part of the movie where, I don't know, where the cops detain May's mother because she is a suspicious Asian. There's no part of the movie where they do that. It's literally just a movie. It could be the same. Well, I guess it couldn't be the same thing because it deals with specifically with like Chinese myths, but a similar type of movie could certainly be done with white people or with a boy. It just happens that it wasn't in this case, and I guess that's enough to make people upset. You know, left-wing dork over here.
Or more, in the case of Hey Arnold. But if you want to keep giving credit to a mega corporation that stole your values and is trying to sell them back to you, keep on praising every little scrap of things so they will keep rewarding for an international market.
So this is like a straw man where he's like, oh, people like this movie because such and such. And that's not why they like the movie. They like it because it's a good movie. I mean, again, I can admit the movie was probably made as a business decision from Disney. Like, yes, we have this movie here. It features Asians and women. And they're just like, oh, yeah, that checks a couple of the boxes. We could sell that one. Like, you know, yeah, if you really want to get serious about it, yeah, that's probably why Disney let this woman make this movie. But that doesn't mean the movie itself that she made was bad. It just means that that she was given the opportunity to make it because Disney is a little bit like corporate diversity crazy. Which, you know, yes, we're all on the same page that is cringe and embarrassing. We are all on the page of, you know, like, maybe do diversity in a natural way and don't be so, like, you know, pushy and insistent that it's important and groundbreaking. And as far as I know, nobody really feels that way about this movie. I mean, I'm sure there's some fucking hack fraud website that's like, this is the first Asian cast in a movie or something. You know, there's always some stupid fucking article. I saw one the other day about the Lord of the Rings show that was literally like Amazon's new Lord of the Rings show is going to correct some of Tolkien's mistakes about, you know, it was about like diversity or whatever, and it was just the most like obviously inflammatory headline simply meant to make people upset about that. And you know, I'm sure there's some fucking stooge website that has written something like that. But holy fuck, like, I have not seen anybody just blindly praising this movie because its cast has Asian people in it. I don't know, man. I don't know. He seems to assume that the people that like this movie like it because it's, you know, diverse or whatever, and that he's like going against the grain and he's being a rebel because he doesn't feel that way. And I just don't think anybody really feels that way.
Because the only color that Disney and these other corporations care about is green.
Oh, epic! Epic pwn! Who the fuck is patronizing this man? $35. These people are giving him $35 a month for videos like this. Unbelievable. Yeah, well, that's that video. It was highly embarrassing. He has a whole stream where he like passive aggressively reacts and pretends he doesn't give a shit. I don't know. It's enough. It's quite enough of all of that. Good God. What a fucking terrible video. You know, obviously don't like harass this man or anything, you know, all of the things that I have to say. Don't go out there. You know, I'm doing what Dream never did, baby. I'm telling you to chill and not go and you know, come after this guy because of his stupid fucking opinions. But man, are those some stupid fucking opinions. Yeah, I mean, there's more from this guy. There's the part where he like becomes like, I don't know, anti-mask or something. That happened a few months ago. Yeah, I don't know. There's more from Mr. Enter, but I think we're good there.